Okay, so I'm here to review the new Halestorm album, Into the Wildlife. This album came out, I think it initially came out April 10th, which was this past Friday in Europe, but then it came out today, April 14th, in North America, and then it came out yesterday in the UK, but that's not important. This is the follow up to their last album, which was The Strange Case of, which came out in 2012. This album, let's see, Atlantic was on Atlantic Records, and yeah, that's kind of about it. So, I'll start off this review talking about the intro track, which is called Scream. So looking back at the the last two Halestorm albums, with the first track, of their self-titled, was "It's Not You," and then on "The Strange Case of Love Bites," those songs bust in, and it's like a rock anthem, and it's like two of the most popular songs from the album, and it just gets you pumped up and you want to go. Scream, not so much. Scream, it didn't get it going. And I don't know. Scream sounded, I don't know. It almost, even though they honestly don't sound a lot alike, it honestly reminds me a little bit of like AWOL Nation in a way. I don't know. Like if you take away the electronicness of it and put guitars, it reminded me of AWOL Nation. And honestly, that kind of feeling of wow, this is a letdown kind of goes with the entire album. And the big offender of this is the production quality. I think the production quality is what really, really hurts this album. Again, their first album wasn't as polished. It sounded a little bit more raw, and that's why a lot of people liked it. And their last album wasn't as raw. It was more polished, but it hit hard. The last album was good. It had a wide variety of styles, and it was rock and roll and all kinds of stuff like that. But this album, it was so produced, overly produced. None of the guitars or anything really had any balls. And Halestorm, they've used electronic drum beats and stuff like that before, but it was occasionally. And now on this album, it seemed like every other song had an electronic drum beat. Which this album is really divided up into three categories, in which I have the track listing here so that I don't forget the names of songs. There's the songs that are very much old school Halestorm, like Amen and Mayhem, are pretty good, okay songs. They're not the greatest Halestorm songs ever, but I mean, they work. I could maybe see myself, not if I'm playing like a playlist on Spotify, if those two songs came on, I might not skip them. You know what I mean? They're okay. And then there's tracks like, I Am the Fire and Apocalyptic. I Like It Heavy. Jump the Gun, which are they're kind of similar to old school Halestorm. It's just they're not they just don't have the spark. They're in the middle, and then every other song in this album sounds like something you'd hear from a radio rock band. It's something that but I mean not like radio rock, I can hear Shine Down or somebody playing a song like this. No, this is stuff for those of you who live in the Lancaster area, 103.3, which is the station where they play all the popular hits. They play Maroon 5, Taylor Swift, all the popular stuff. It's stuff that I would honestly hear on those radio stations. And I'm like, that's not what Halestorm is, And it's really hard, because I really wanted to like this album, but just a lot of it just didn't sit well with me. I don't know, the song Sick Individual was honestly kind of laughable. What was the chorus go? It goes, I'm a sick individual and I do this thing called whatever the fuck I want. And I'm like, really, like, yeah, Hailstorm has always had lyrics like that, but they were controlled. You know what I mean? They were cool. You know, Love Bites is kind of like a song like that, but it's cool. You know what I mean? Whereas that's just, again, it's laughable, and I feel as though they've let their recent fame and notoriety go to their head. Like, that they wrote this album hoping to get another Grammy. That's what this album screams to me, that they're just trying to get more popular. That they're just trying to get another Grammy, which, I mean, fine, you get more money and, your band, you start to get popular. You want to play stuff that gets popular because you make more money. And I get it. Hailstorm's always been an experimental band. There's a lot of the songs sound very different on The Strange Case of, but like, to me, there wasn't that much variety on this album. Like, they all kind of sounded the same. Like, besides the couple of songs that, like, I named, I mean, Apocalyptic, you'll remember because it's on the radio all the time. And then, like I said, there's Amen and Mayhem. Like, none of the other songs are memorable. There's like 3 ballads on this album, and they're not cool ballads like Break In or A Familiar Taste of Poison. Ballads like that. They're rock ballads. The drum beat comes in, and it's like a little bit more of an upbeat ballad. And I don't know. But again, the big thing is the production. Lzzy Hale, her voice is overly produced on this album, and that she doesn't do the screams or whatever you want to call them that she would do. Her voice doesn't get gruff, like, at all during the course, like, very rarely over the course of this album. Like I said, on Mayhem and Amen. But then, like, her voice just sounds weird and overly produced and controlled, and, like, that's not why I like her vocals. Like, I like her vocals because she's got this wide range of stuff that she can do and stuff like that. The guitars, none of them are memorable. I couldn't really honestly tell you any guitar lead or riff from this album besides maybe the intro to Mayhem, which is honestly which is okay again at best. I couldn't tell you any guitar riff from this album. I don't know. The bass was literally not there. I mean, don't ask me about it. And then I don't know, and then the RJ's drums, again, they seemed controlled, like, on, again, bringing back The Strange Case of, which is probably my favorite Hailstorm album that they've put out, which I'm out of, the 3 now. His drums were really cool, and they, part of the reason, like, that I like listening to that album because the drums are all over the place, and they're creative and inventive, whereas here, like I said, half the time he's using electronic drum beats, and then, like, again, I couldn't tell you a memorable drum solo or a drum part on this whole album. This whole album, honestly, to me, is forgettable. It's not bad because, I mean, I can see people liking it. Like, I can understand where some people might like it, where that's your forte, that's your kind of music. But it's not mine, so I did not enjoy this album, really. It was a grind listening to this album, in which I was listening to the deluxe edition. So there's 15 songs. Now, that's too many songs for the moderate pace this album traveled at. 15 songs is way too many. This album's way too long for the kind of songs that are in it. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. So I have to give this album a rating. I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. It is literally okay. It is okay. I mean, I'm not going to say it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad. It's just okay. It's just an album. It's not a good album. It's not a bad album. It's just an album. At least I felt disappointed, especially after the last album, which I thought was really good and made me a huge Hailstorm fan. I'm just really disappointed. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about this. Am I stupid? Should I, am I wrong for thinking that this album isn't that good? Let me know in the comment section. So, talk to you guys later.